Hello, it's Danielle and I have another layout to show you today. So I sized my photos at 3x4 and just printed them out in black and white, mostly because the color and the lighting in these photos were awful. So when that happens, I usually just print them up in black and white. And then I layered behind that photo a piece of pink and white striped paper, and that came from my Felicity Jane kit that I got in January. It's the Olivia kit. And next I'm going to get my title on here. It's going to kind of be centered in that white space above my photos, and I just want to get it on there and make sure that that is on there first, and then I'll work all the other elements around that. So this layout is going to be fairly simple, but I really like the way it turned out. So my title is going to be A Bun in My Oven, and I'm using some foam alphabet stickers from Amy Tangerine. And I'm just using a ruler so that I can try to make sure these are even. Seems how they're going to kind of be just centered in that white space. I think that I try to get them more even than I normally would, just because I think that you could, it would be more obvious if it wasn't kind of centered. So so these photos are from the Halloween that I was pregnant with my daughter, and we were going to go to a Halloween party. And at first we weren't going to dress up. My husband's just not really into that kind of stuff. He's kind of a party pooper, but at the last minute I decided it would be super lame if we didn't dress up. So I think like the day of the party I got these outfits together real quick, and I just got them off Pinterest. So I'm obviously an oven, and there's a little bun in my oven, and then my husband's the baker. And this is because my husband just had to put on an apron. He was down with it. I think if I would have come up with something that was more involved than this, he probably wouldn't have been down with that. But my daughter was, and still kind of is, super into Curious George, and so I always want my husband, because he's kind of tall and skinny and has dark hair, I always want him to be the man with the yellow hat and then have my little daughter be George, but he's never too excited about it. So anyway, so I get my title down, and then I pull out some scratch paper that I just grabbed. These are just colors that I wanted to work with, and I'm gonna make some kind of makeshift tags where I just cut the top of these into a tag shape, and then I'm going to take my hole punch and get a little hole punched in there. These papers, I'm pretty sure the tomatoey red one is an authentique paper, and the minty green one is a fancy pants paper, but they were both just in my box of scraps. So I get these put on the side of my photo, and then I want to bring those colors somewhere else into the layout, and I know I want to do something up in the upper left hand corner just to, you know, bring a little bit of interest up there. And then I pull out just some plain white tags and get these on there. And I decide that I for sure like the one up at the top of the layout, so I get that adhered down. And then I'm also just going to glue down those strips of paper as well. So then I move on to this white tag down by my photos, and I don't totally love it. It just looks a little, I don't know, it looks a little busy over there with the other tags, but I didn't really like bringing it over to the other side as well. So I kind of play around with it and then decide, well, I definitely want to add it, but I ultimately decide it just looks too busy. So I just toss it aside and forget about it. So I'm just thinking of other things I can add to my layout, and I pull out some enamel dots. And I think I've mentioned this on a video before, but my daughter loves to play with my enamel dots, and she would usually just stick all of the package on one piece of paper. So it wasn't that hard to keep track of. And then I would just reuse them. And then she got really into her colors and matching colors. And so now I have a million little pieces of paper, and all of my enamel dots are kind of organized by color on those paper. But I went with these white ones. They're kind of an off-white, and so they kind of match those foam stickers that are a little bit more off-white. So I think those two complement each other. But I'm just showing you here, I took it over to my sewing machine and I got some stitching on it. And now I'm just gonna write Halloween 2011 and keep it pretty simple and to the point. So thanks so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you all soon. All right, see you later, guys.